Hello and welcome. My name is Maple, and I'm here today to just talk about our sweet, sweet shoulders. One of the number one aspects I get asked about all the time, or parts of the body where people have complaints about, is in the shoulders. So I've put together this little shoulder stretch yoga flow that is great for either maybe right when you pop out of bed. It's good to move our body and drink a glass of water, maybe put a little piece of lemon in that water. So you can do it in the morning when you wake up, stretch out the shoulders, start the day, opening the chest, lengthening the spine. You can also do it at night after a long day and sitting, and perhaps we end up slouching throughout the day. And it's a great little add-on right before you go to bed. Either way, I hope you enjoy it. I highly recommend having 2 blocks for this, and let's get started. To begin, we'll find child's pose. Take the knees wide, the big toes to touch. And now our add-on for child's pose is with 2 blocks and per hands overhead. So take your 2 blocks and know you have 3 settings on the block. I prefer the lowest setting for this. Put them about shoulder width apart. And as you lower your torso down, walk your arms forward so that your elbows are on top of those blocks, but you have room for your head to melt down, forehead to the ground. And start to bring your hands overhead or prayer hands together as you greet your forehead all the way to the earth. And maybe your hands just hover in space above your head. Maybe the thumbs rest back on your neck. But we're just going to take a few rounds of breath here in this beginning shape. And just think and notice the length of your spine, your heart opening as you melt down, the pectoral muscles getting a little bit of a different opening by accessing the blocks with the arms up. Also stretching the triceps here. The child's pose is a really great and common posture to begin any yoga practice with. It just lets us become present and aware of our bodies and our minds. Become present in the space we are in. Kind of clearing the slate to begin that practice. Noticing right away if you have any sticky spots, any tension clinging on anywhere in your body, particularly if it's happening in your shoulders, or maybe you notice it in your chest. And just try to send your breath to soften in those areas. Make sure your inner thighs are out wide enough so your torso can rest, heavy towards the ground, heels on top of your hips. Just find about 2 more cycles of breath. As you come to your next inhale, you can elongate your hands, slowly walking up. You can move the blocks off to the side for now. We'll come onto tabletop pose up to all 4s, knees drawn in under the hips. Your palms are spread wide on the mat, right underneath your shoulders. We'll find a neutral spine with the belly squeezing out towards the spine for some core engagement. We'll find our cats and cows here. As you inhale, peel your heart forward and down between the arms. Arching the back slightly and gently, reaching through the crown of your head and back through the sits bones. And then press the earth away so you get a little bit taller while softening the shoulder heads back and down. Take a breath in right here, noticing you're stretching your core. And exhale, round your spine up towards the sky, cat pose, chin into chest, really stretching through the cervical spine. And really breathing into the back body here, press your shins into the mat, looking back between your thighs or perhaps at your navel. We'll find 2 more rounds of breath. Use your breath to guide you as you inhale, peel the heart forward, shoulders soft from the ears, avoid any shrugging. And then exhale, spine to sky. Inhale, cow pose. Soft bend in the elbows. And exhale, round the back up, cat. Now return to your neutral spine. All 4s. Extended puppy pose to open our heart. Reach your arms towards the top of your mat where you're comfortable, still supported, you're not slipping out. We'll start to lower all the way down, keeping the hips over the knees. And just bring your forehead to the earth. Sometimes you'll see the chin into the chest, or rather the chin into the mat. Well, we just don't want any tension on the neck. So noticing if that's happening for you and switching it out. You can even rest your forehead on a block or a gently folded blanket. So relieving some tension across the chest here, opening up the pectoral muscles again. Shoulders kind of squeezing together and down the back a little bit, but really neutral, long in the arms. Core is open. Low back getting stretch. Let's take another round of breath. And when you start to take your next inhale, lift your head off the mat. Bring your forearms on the ground so that your elbows are under your shoulders and gently extend your legs back so you lower your belly all the way to the ground. Find a Cobra Pose right here. So lower your chest to the earth to set up. Palms can be fingertips forward and either in line with your shoulders or perhaps down in line with your nipple line, but elbows are hugging back. Roll the shoulders down your back. Exhale out all of your breath. And on your inhale, lift your heart. And keep your gaze soft past your nose. Press the tops of your feet into the mat, active legs, and lift your kneecaps off the ground. You can hug your elbows back here, lift up a little bit higher. Whatever feels good to open the heart. If you wanted to challenge yourself, you can lift up to the fingertips, so tented hands, or even hover the hands about an inch off the ground, pressing your toes down. Take one more breath in. And then exhale, release your left ear to the mat, arms long by your side. Just rest on the ground supported. Maybe you shimmy your hips side to side, releasing any tension in your low back. And bring your chin through center and rise back up to your forearms. We're going for half bow pose. So left forearm is on the ground, shoulder and elbow stacked, but pivot your left palm towards the right. So you've got this 45-degree angle. Fingertips are facing the top right edge of your mat. And just support yourself with your right hand for now. Bend your right knee so your heel's above your glute. Take your arms, circle, sweep it up and back. Capture the arch of your foot, or perhaps even your ankle. You can always use a yoga strap here or a t-shirt. And then gently bring your right shoulder forward so your shoulders are broad. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, lift the heart, lift your foot, kicking it into your hand, reaching the toes up for the sky. So a little internal rotation of your right inner thigh to keep your knee and hip in one line. If you wanted to go a little deeper and challenge, you can reach your left palm forward, thumb to the sky, and just lift up. Pressing your left toe into the ground, kneecap lifted. So you squeeze up your thigh a little bit more, using the glute and using the strength of your leg. Just breathe right here into it. You get to open the chest, release tension in your neck and shoulders and your latissimus dorsi. Really big in the torso of the back. Take one more breath in. And then exhale, gently release your hand if it was lifted, your knee, extend your leg all the way back. Bring your arms long by your side, bring your right ear to the mat. Maybe shimmy out or windshield wiper your hips or knees to release any tension. And when you're ready, chin through center. You come back up to those forearms, this time with the right elbow and shoulder in line. Pivot the right fingertips towards the left 45 degrees. Bend your left knee. Left arm sweeps back and captures the arch of your foot or perhaps your ankle. Pull your left shoulder forward to level them off. Take a breath in. Exhale, kick your foot into your hand. Gently lift your thigh off the ground. Active legs, press your right toes into the mat, the top of your foot. Lift the knee. Perhaps you reach your right arm forward extended. And just feel that gentle arching in your back. Find your breath. Reach long for the crown of your head so you have a soft gaze past your nose. We're not arching up in the neck. No tension there. Last breath in. And exhale, release. Arms by your side, left ear again into the mat. Maybe you shimmy hips or windshield wiper your feet. Nice, and gently bring your chin through center. Press your palms into the ground by your shoulders. Tabletop pose. Come up through center. Tuck your toes. Find a downward facing dog. Lift your hips up into the sky. A nice stretch for the back of your body. The whole backs of your legs, the hamstrings, the calves. Pedal it out. Bend your knees. Lift and lower the heels up and down. Maybe you sway your hips side to side, whatever you need here. And actively spreading your fingers wide and pressing the ground away through your palms so you can take any shrugged shoulders up and away from the ears, hips to the sky, nice and active. And there's a grounding point in between that flesh, or in that flesh that's in between the thumb and index fingers in traditional Chinese medicine. And that's a grounding point. So ground down between the thumb and index fingers, press it up and back. Take a breath in, lift your heels, bend your knees, look forward. And exhale, tiptoe your feet forward for a forward fold at the top of your space. Just fold right in half. Take a moment here, let your head hang heavy, maybe nod your head no and yes. Send on a positive note. Option to walk your palms left and right, right and left. You can pedal out the knees here still if you'd like. Nice. Now soften your knees, round your back, and slowly rise up to mountain pose, standing. Arms to the sky. I'll take a deep breath in. When you exhale, it's chair pose, sitting down and back in the sit bones. So you want to shimmy the knees back so you can see the toes, maybe even the tops of your feet. And if your shoulders are tight, bring your hands to heart or even to your hips. And we're going to add on to our chair pose. Shift the weight to your left foot. And take your right arm, elbow underneath the left for eagle pose. You can touch the shoulders, touch the backs of your hands, or double wrap the palms. Now take that right leg up and over, and you can let your foot fly, kickstand it on a block or the ground, or maybe tuck it behind your calf. Level the hips, lift the elbows up in line with shoulders, and draw those forearms to the front of the room. Try to bring your shoulders back over your hips. Breathe. We're stretching the deltoids and your upper back. If you fall out, that's fine. Come back to it. And squeeze the inner thighs. Nice and constricted, all the muscles squeezing towards the midline of your body. Last breath in. And exhale, unwind back to your chair pose. We'll switch right away to the other side. Left elbow under the right. Capture your arms, the variation you'd like. And step your left leg up, cross over. Again, fly it, kickstand it to a block or the ground, or maybe tuck it behind your calf. Try to level your hips. Find a nice long vertical spine, sitting upright in that chair. Draw the elbows in line with your shoulders and try to reach your forearms forward. And find your drishti here, your focal point, to guide and focus you. Send your attention. Maybe you're looking past both of your arms. And focus on the arms so you can focus on your shoulders. Just one more cycle of breath. Stay for the inhale. Unwind with your exhale, chair pose. Sit back in the heels, squeeze your butt cheeks, take a breath in. Forward fold, release it on your exhale, fold nice and half. Bring your feet about hips width distance apart. And shoulders down your back, take a bind. Interlace your fingertips, squeeze your palms together, roll your shoulder heads down your back. And try to reach up towards the sky. Now you can always grab a strap here, a t-shirt or a towel if this isn't accessible for you at the moment. Nod your head no and yes to release. And just keep squeezing those shoulders up and away, stretching up for the sky, getting a nice stretch in the neck, in the back, the deltoids, opening your chest. So much juicy goodness. Nice, and just breathe it in. Take one more round of breath. Amazing, friends. Gently release your bind all the way to the ground. Find a halfway lift. It's a flat back, just rising up so your torso is parallel to the ground. Shoulders squeeze down your back. Hands can be on blocks or the ground. Maybe you slide them up to your shins, maybe even to your thighs, but keep the chest open and reach long through the crown of your head. And tuck your chin a little bit so you're not looking forward and up. You want to be looking rather towards the top edge of your mat. Big breath in. Okay, breath out. I'm going to soft bend your knees, shifting weight more forward into the balls of your feet, but keeping your heels glued to the mat. One more inhale. And one more exhale. Nice. Go ahead and fold your palms down, bend your booty, coming into a little squat. We're going to make our way to our back, all the way to the sit bones. And lengthen your legs. 2 blocks are nearby. We'll use those in a moment. Lower all the way down. Maybe you plant your feet and roll 1 vertebrae at a time. Low back, mid back, and up back. Get a little core work out of it. Nice. And then rest the back of your head on the ground. Untuck your shoulders, walk them down your back, and plant your feet hips width distance apart. We're going into bridge pose, supported bridge with a block, or bound bridge with a bind with the hands. So to start, try to walk your heels in as close as you can comfortably get to your hips. Plant those heels down and plant the toes down, spread them wide. Palms press into the mat. Take a breath in. And exhale, lift and squeeze gently on the booty, maybe walking your shoulders down your back even more. You want to reach the pubic bone towards the navel, the sternum towards the navel, and let the navel shine up towards the sky. Now you can take a bind here if you'd like to, again, interlacing your fingertips and pressing and squeezing your forearms down into the mat to just lift a little higher through the chest. And keep your chin off your chest, reaching towards the crown of your head, and make sure your gaze stays at the sky. We don't want to look around here. And if you're choosing to support this bridge, you can slide a block. Remember, you have 3 settings. Choose the setting that's right for you. Gently place it on the sacrum, the bony plate above the hips, just right there at the low back. And you can rest on that block. We want to actively be pressing all 4 corners of our feet on the mat so that our knees stay in line with our hips. Couple more rounds of breath. Opening the heart, chin reaching for the crown. Draw your tailbone towards the backs of your knees. Actively press up to lift the thighs, activating the hamstrings and the glutes without squeezing them at full capacity. Just want to turn the brakes down just a little bit there, but they are active. Take 1 more breath in, maybe lift your heart just a little higher. Then exhale, slowly lower your upper back, mid back, and low back to the mat. Of course, removing a block or releasing a bind if you have them. You can take your feet together, let your knees come wide, the soles of feet together. For bound angle pose, Supta Baddha Konasana. Just take a moment to breathe, maybe resting 1 palm on your abdomen and 1 hand at your heart. And for our final pose, friends, you can gently draw your knees together and hug your knees into your chest, maybe pull them wide, rock side to side, caress the sacrum, release the low back. And we're gonna make our way up to a seat so we can set up fish pose. So maybe rock and roll a few times, or let your knees fall off to one side and gently press yourself up. When you get to the top, we're gonna take those blocks and set them up like a T. So 1 block is going to be set up in between the shoulder blades along the spine lengthwise on the medium setting. And the other block is going to be like the top of your T for the back of your head. And it can be at the same setting or at the highest setting. That is going to be your choice. And you can adjust it as you go. So for fish pose, to open the chest, you can start by having your feet planted and gently leaning back. And we want the first block in the medium setting to be in between the shoulder blades, kind of mid and upper back. If you wore a sports bra or something, about where the sports bra would be. Just gently lay back and then let the back of your head rest on that top block. And again, you can adjust and figure out if it's comfortable for you on the highest setting, or if you prefer it on a different setting, perhaps the medium setting. And you can extend your legs in front of you and let them be long, and it's kind of a nice release and stretch for the belly. But if you do have any back tension here, feel free to plant the soles of your feet with your knees towards the sky. Just gonna let the chest open up, the shoulders melt, let your collarbones feel wide, space in the neck. Just connecting with your breath, your thoughts.
Just notice what happens when you find some silence and some stillness. Maybe you bring a mantra in to your practice. I will let go of what is no longer serving me. And you can say that out loud or silently to yourself, or perhaps when you get done, you write it down, post it up next to a mirror, and every time you see it, you say it, you think it, you mean it. I will let go of what is no longer serving me. And I will leave you here to rest as long as you'd like. Now you can always sit upright, take the blocks out, and lay down flat afterwards if that is something you feel your body would really enjoy. Thank you for your time today. From my heart to yours, with happy shoulders and happy smiles on our faces. Happy holidays. It's the season right now at filming. Until next time, thank you.